you know. So I know y'all have a lot more to talk about, but we're going to back out now and, you know, go off and do some more food coverage out in the city. But we wanted to just thank you for having us, letting us butt in. You know, and your podcast goes live June 1st.
Yes.
Oh, how exciting!
Yeah.
So you're
That's tomorrow. No, the day after tomorrow.
Friday.
It feels
Friday?
like tomorrow.
I know that because of Memorial Day.
It feels like tomorrow.
So we're going to let y'all continue your conversation, and you'll be able to find the rest of this conversation at NatFab. No, am I doing that right? NatFab.org. And anyway, look on NOAA.com.
Yeah,
I'll have
be
it
fine.
Thanks for joining us today. This is really good. Yeah. You happy?
See, look at you. Yeah. Oh my God. So what get you into the food policy work? I mean, I know you're an attorney, right? Exactly. But I love that. I just like, you know, when you're growing up, you just think about all the career you want to go into, and I don't think you were thinking.
No, I was not. I was not thinking about this as a kid. I fell into food policy. My first summer of law school, I did an internship, and it was really about cataloging seeds, right? So we're looking at what the proposed regulation would actually do to a seed bank, and those folks who'd been saving seeds for generations, how they were going to continue to be able to move those seeds. How could you give them away? Could you grow them? Could you sell the food once you grew it from the seed? You know, it was just a lot of complication and all these moving parts. And at the end of it, I was hooked. I was hooked because food is super important to me as well. I like to eat, and he who controls the seed controls the food supply.
That's right.
Right. So,
that's so true. Oh, I'm sorry.
This was pretty. All right, there we go.
So from that point, trying to figure out how it is that I could make sure that we always had food, and food policy was it. That's the only way to do it. I mean, you can write laws and or go to courts and see what you can't do in order to make sure that litigation will actually support what it is that you want to do, but the actual building, as opposed to preventing or the tearing down of things, all happens in policy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So look what you know how to do.
Oh wow. You know, when we first came to America, it was just kind of like thinking, and the thinking back was just, my parents were just like, well, as long as we, you know, so you know, rice is big in the Asian culture.
Absolutely.
I eat rice every single day.
I love rice.
Yeah.
We grow rice.
It was affordable. Yeah. It's affordable. And so growing up, never thought that we did have or lack of food. Because we also have the basic, you know, you also have the basic, but you know, but it's being exposed to other type of food that a lot of working families, our lower class families, don't have that opportunity to.
Sure.
So they just stick to the basic stuff, and I see this as creating opportunity for them to.
True story.
You're right. Test all the other different types, and you know, I didn't even know about Brussels sprout until maybe several years ago. I'm like, because it wasn't my parents.
That's not your culture.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
and I love Brussels sprouts. I eat everything with Brussels sprouts. I saute, boil it, you know, dip it in cheese dip, you know, you name it. Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Yes.
Well, I can honestly tell you that, especially now that the world is a smaller place, and we are finding out that there are different types of food to eat that come from different cultures, it's a lot easier to share what you might have grown up with. So I grew up eating egg drop soup, but from a restaurant, as in nobody in my house knew how to cook egg drop soup, which is probably why I thought it was complicated, right? So it's got to be.
It was very simple, huh?
It's got to be complicated if it comes from a restaurant.
Yeah.
But that seems not to be the case, and so it's
basic ingredients
like to learn.
Literally water, cornstarch, right? Chicken broth.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed.
Ginger. And these are stuff that we have in our refrigerator every day.
Yeah,
so
it's
not
like a pantry dish.
Yeah, so it's not like you have to go out and buy special ingredients for all of this, you know. So, but well, no, this has been fun. Thank you for having me. God.
I appreciate it.
You know,
I'm glad you're here. So we we started talking about the things and the changes that you guys are looking at. So what about there's a lot of land in both the east and in the lower ninth ward that's, I mean, do we have any, I do mean you when I say we, have any idea of what it is that we're going to be looking at doing and how those are going to play into? Because, and the reason I ask the question is because that will not only increase, if it's, you know, for development or for occupation, it will increase the number of people who are actually going to need to eat, which will then create a greater need for access to food and to actually have some level of consistency with your access to food.
So what we're doing right now is getting a better understanding of all the lands in District E. So we actually have over 36,000 lots in District E that consists of private and commercial. And what we're hoping to do is to really break it down to commercial and residential. Looking at all the vacancies that we have and strategically looking into creating community neighborhoods around there, right?
Right.
And so let's just use the L9 for an example. Okay. So L9 has probably over 600 vacant lots right now, as we speak. And so looking around MLK High, so there's a high school right there, so you can see the area, right? But it's blighted, right? It's heavily blighted. So how do you put people back in, but not just housing? Of course, we're very big on affordable housing for our people, right? But we're also big on creating space, fun space for children. We're also looking at space to where we could actually grow vegetables, garden. So because those are the substance of a community. And when people see those kind of stuff, they kind of migrate around there. And so I'm very open to, I don't have a game book in reference to how a neighborhood should look like.
Well,
you know, I think,
different.
this is something that the people has to take ownership of, the people in the community, because they're gonna be there when I leave at 8 o'clock at night for my meeting in the L9, right? And I recognize that, and so when I come to the work, I come with a very open mind, giving people in that community the first priority of how do you shape your community, but also guiding them in reference to, you know, strategies that's been done elsewhere, so that way we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. And so, and I could actually see several lots being cleared for a very productive planting project where we could engage one of our local farmers to have access to grow and their vegetables and be able to sell it to the local supermarket.
That's awesome. So, I mean, two things spring to mind. One, don't you guys have some orchards down that way?
I'm not,
or at least they were supposed to have started a while back.
I know Sankofa down there, they've done some work. And so I visited them one time, so I have to revisit again.
I was thinking about Capstone Farms. They were supposed to have done some orchards down that way. So I haven't been down that far in a while. Last time I was down there, I was at a community meeting for at-risk youth and trying to figure out some sort of a way to support them. In the
this is an excellent way, you know, because you create jobs with them, training skills.
Absolutely. And so when they look at youth, their litmus is from 16 to 25, and trying to figure out how it is that we can hand as elders, right? That we can hand over the mantle and teach them how to move forward. And so, I mean, projects like that I think are super important.
Pepper, you brought up a very good point that I almost forgot. I mean, and I keep telling our senior citizens, don't take all the knowledge away. Share that. You know, and then young people taking advantage of the opportunity that your elders are still here. You know, learn from them. You know, and so it's such a great intergeneration strategy. Because I mean,
because otherwise the knowledge base is lost. And then what do you do?
And when you start the whole process over. I know it just sounds very taunting, but but we got to learn from those that have already went before us, and I think that's key. And I think for me is going back to the L9 is really giving them that support system and moving the needle for the families out there. You know, looking at blight in a way, in a very positive way. I think when we look at blight, we look at, you know, just putting a house there. But I think we could do that as well as other initiatives that will bring families together.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree about that. Yeah.
And you know, you brought up orchard. You know, I would love to see a fruit forest.
You know what? I was down at a book club meeting in the Lower Ninth Ward, and the woman who was leading it was from Jamaica, and she was telling me about how when she was growing up that there were fruit trees everywhere, right? So even though they're poor, that you would always eat because there was just mango trees, just everywhere. I know, right? I know. It's so expensive to import.
Yes.
But the food, she was saying, was just everywhere, and it didn't make any sense to her that we should have so many trees and these overgrown lots, and none of them produce food.
Yeah.
So your great minds think alike.
Yeah.
You guys are on the same page with that.
Yeah. So my nonprofit in the Mission area, we actually have a fruit forest.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. So
That's
I started this like about 5 years ago, and we've been planting kumquat because you know kumquat is.
Oh, those are good then.
Yes, it's really good for sore throat for people that have sore throat. Yes.
Oh, I just like popping in my mouth.
Yeah. You want to soak it in the Vietnamese culture? We actually soak our kumquat and put some salt in it.
Oh yeah.
And let it sit for like a month.
What is it?
And drink it like lemonade.
Really?
Yes.
With salt?
Yes.
Stop.
Yes. Oh my God, it is the diggity bomb. It is the diggity bomb. Yeah, so we have probably about at least 5 or 6 kumquat.
Okay.
I have a Japanese peach tree.
Okay.
It's a little peach.
Yeah.
I have oranges. I was trying to grow an avocado tree and it just didn't work out for us.
Really?
Yeah.
My grandmother used to grow those in her backyard. She called them alligator pears.
Really?
It
survived?
It did. But I mean, she lived through the Depression, and so having food in her backyard was the only way to go.
Yeah. We have figs.
Everybody used to have fig trees.
That's right. I have 6 fig trees on my property.
Oh.
Yes. And actually, the neighbor, when Viet took over the former St. Bridget Church, it's 8 acres of land.
Okay.
And our neighbor came over and gave us a fig tree. And so that's how I got the idea. So, well, why don't we just start up a fruit forest? So that way, when people come to the center, they could just pick fruits. Yeah. I don't have to buy them. Because I run summer camp and after school program.
Oh, that is outstanding.
And so kids can go out there and pick their fruit.
Yeah, there's so few kids who live in the city who actually know where food comes from.
And fig is good when you freeze it, right?
You can freeze it, you can preserve it. I love fig preserves on like a crusty bread, like a ciabatta.
Oh, yeah. I just eat it like
with
that.
Grilled vegetables in the summertime. Oh, it's this salty, sweet kind of balance thing going on. I'm telling you, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So we have 50 fruit trees out there. So I would love to do this in other areas of the East as well as the L9.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. Because I like how simple that is. You just have to water, and you could create water gauge to where the fruit trees with all the different sustainable methods of making sure that the plants get water. You could still survive. Yeah. So I'd love to see a fruit forest, couple of it in the L9.
Yeah. How much room do you need for? I mean,
we have. So I'm really bad with measurement. I just kind of
like one house plot or 2 house plots.
Oh no, so I think so. We have about
city block
2. I guess for me is looking at maybe different lots, maybe a lot in different area. So that way every neighborhood can benefit from it.
Sure.
Yeah. It'd be great if we have, maybe 3 lots together.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
I can.
And then eventually, when you think about
That's wonderful.
And then I think it's a great entrepreneurship type of concept. So if you have land,
sure,
you could actually plant this. When you go to Florida, right? People come in and pay to go pick the fruit.
Absolutely.
Idea, you own the land already.
Sure.
You don't have that much overhead.
No, I actually know that I know somebody who's in this consortium agreement where they're planting in somebody else's backyard in exchange for some of the harvest. So it can be very supportive and very cyclical in that way.
Yeah.
But I also know that there's some folks who are talking about re-entry programs and maybe doing some sort of farming or gardening, whether it be in a container or out of a container, down in that area, so that there is some pathway to give folks jobs so that they can then actually not only stand on their own feet, provide housing for themselves, but also feed themselves, which is.
You brought up another underserved population, which is our reentry population. And so I think this is it's an excellent way of creating job opportunity for those individuals that are coming out back into society and getting blend in. And then for them to learn the skills that they could actually give back to their community as well.
Right, there's so much there that's possible. It's just complicated with, law.
And I think at the end of the day, when you look at opportunity, it depends on the person that owns that opportunity. And if that person said, you know what, I want to embrace the reentry community, I want to embrace the young kids, it can happen. You don't need a law for you to embrace them, for you to create opportunities, right? And so, and I think when you talk about food, you don't normally talk about food and opportunity and workforce development, but it does go.
Absolutely.
It's all in one big family.
Because I mean, if you are a person who's re-entering post conviction, right? There are very real and very actual bars to being able to provide for yourself if you cannot apply for. In some parts, I mean, Helena Moreno actually did a great job of changing those last session. Being able to apply for and to receive state funding so that you can, while you look for a job or try to figure out how to get a job, that you can actually receive some sort of food assistance in order to keep food on the plate, right? So, I mean, what the reasons that people actually commit crimes are not because they just want to commit crimes, and it's not because they have so many other opportunities. It is because they are desperate.
Limited opportunities.
So anyways, do you want to make this out?
You want to make time? Do you have time?
Yeah, we have time. Do you guys have time?
Yeah. What time we have? We're good. 10:30. Okay. So we probably. So.
How long does your salad take? No?
It may take a minute or two. We have a press conference. So I got to get back. So let me finish my soup. I may not get lunch today. I didn't get lunch yesterday.